Hello. Welcome to your 30-minute pranayama practice. My name is Elisa. So nice to be here with you. If we're meeting for the first time virtually, welcome. We are going to be moving through a few various pranayama practices and techniques to offer a bit of balance to the nervous system and to the body. Oftentimes throughout the day we might be sitting in the masculine energy a little bit too much, or the feminine energy maybe a little bit too much. So this practice today hopefully will allow just a little bit of balance, a little bit of evenness, hopefully providing a sense of grounding, a sense of spaciousness as well. So to begin, we'll be seated the whole practice. So if you would prefer to sit up in a chair with some back support, you are welcome to. I'm sitting up on a block and a blanket, just so there's a little bit of elevation through the low back, and the pelvic bowl can tilt forward just a little bit, providing some spaciousness. So you don't want to curl forward. We want some nice long integrity through the back of the body, because we're going to be breathing, right? So we want to keep this channel open. So I'll give you a moment to make yourself comfortable, maybe even sitting up on a hardback book or a really dense cushion or pillow, or of course in a chair seated with a nice back support. So wherever you are, just taking as much time as you need to find comfort. Maybe taking a big roll of the shoulders up towards the ears and down towards the back. And just see how you feel closing down your eyes. Depending on when you are choosing to sit down for practice today, you might feel perhaps a sense of resistance to closing down the eyes. Or it might feel really natural and comfortable. So here is your first opportunity to really begin to arrive back into your body, just to begin experiencing how you feel. Here, seeing if you can allow this sense of weight to become heavier through the base of the body, the hips, the sit bones, the legs. And from this base, can you rebound upwards towards the sky through the crown of the head, so as if you are being energetically lifted into the ceiling and anchored into the earth. And here you might feel maybe a little bit of flaring through the rib cage, a bit of expansiveness here. And then see if you can draw just the lowest rib in towards your abdominal center, just to offer a gentle containment through the front of the body, and a vibrancy and aliveness through the back of the body. Perhaps the chin coming towards the throat ever so slightly to provide this lengthening sensation through the back of the neck. And here I invite you just to close down the eyes if they're not already, and begin to watch the full process of your breath moving through your body. And I'd like to open our time together by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land from which I am sitting on. Pay my deepest respects and acknowledgement to their elders, their ancestors, past, present, and emerging. And also, I would like to offer my deepest respects and gratitude towards the ancestors of this practice. And say thank you to those yogis who have spent hundreds of years cultivating these practices that we share together today. As you begin to arrive to this space of intention, your seat, your asana, just see if you can notice the lengthening of the back body, the lengthening of the spine, and watching the breath move through you. And by taking the time to find this really spacious and strong seat, we are creating a clear pathway for the Sushumna Nadi. This is the energetic spinal column, if you will. Right? We are experiencing this subtle body with pranayama. So prana meaning this vital life force, this vitality, life energy, and ayama meaning expansion or freedom. So we are experimenting, we are experiencing the subtle body in this practice. And if we focus on the Sushumna Nadi, this central column, the nadis are like energetic channels or riverbeds. There's thousands of them flowing through the body. And we'll just learn about the Sushumna Nadi today, which if this nadi, this riverbed, is moving through us, then the prana, the life force, is the water that fills the riverbeds, right? So just kind of little highways through the body that we can direct and send energy in and around, out, through. And as you begin breathing here, can you begin to just soften through the lower belly, maybe placing a hand on your lower belly and noticing if you can soften through this space as you invite in a breath through the nose. Invite in a softening, perhaps even granting yourself permission. As we habitually hold through this space oftentimes, we're taught from a very young age to suck in, to hold in. So in this practice, this process of unlearning our old habits, can you begin to invite in this attitude of softness just through the lower belly? Feel the breath here. We will begin with a Brahmari breath or a buzzing bee breath, which is essentially a closed mouth hum. And I like to open my pranayama practice with this because it's just a wonderful way to feel the vibration of the voice and also to experience the full length of the entire exhalation, right? As we kind of begin to really deepen our relationship with the breath, with the energy body through this pranayama practice. So the Brahmari breath is an inhalation through the nose and a closed mouth hum out the nose. And we're directing the energy or the sound just up through the soft palate all the way out through the crown of the head. So, and of course, this takes practice. So if this is your first time practicing this breath, please be kind to yourself. Just experiment here. So it sounds like this. And everyone's exhalation length is going to be different, so know that this is a place for your own practice. So please don't feel you need to keep up with the length of my breath, but experience your own breath in your own body. And so we will take 10 rounds of this Brahmari breath together, this closed mouth hum, just to begin to experience the whole length of the exhalation. And then as you inhale, just noticing if you can really allow a natural expansive breath in. We are also creating a vibration through the body. And this is allowing us to be involved or in relationship with the vagus nerve, which is this very complex cranial nerve that kind of weaves down the whole central column of the body like a tree roots or like an octopus. And this allows us to activate or experience our nervous systems. And so hopefully by introducing this vibration with the breath, we can promote an activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, allowing the body a chance to really intentionally know it can rest, it can process, it can integrate information. And so when you're ready, you can keep your hand on your belly, or you can rest your hand on your lap, your thighs. We'll take 10 rounds of Brahmari breath to open our practice together, and I'll keep count. So you just keep flowing over into the next round of breath. When you're ready, inhaling through the nose to begin. Remember to keep a nice tall back body as we maintain this space for the breath, for the prana to move through the Sushumna Nadi or central column, continuing here. Final round. Taking your time to finish your 10 cycles of Brahmari breath. And pausing in stillness to just feel what you feel after we've just sent these intentional vibrations of sound, experiencing the whole length of the exhalation, arriving deeper into your body, your energetic body as well. If you have Ujjayi breath in your practice, you can begin to practice this gentle restriction of the back of the throat, the glottis, as you slowly take in your in-breath through the nose and out-breath through the nose, making the sound of what the ocean sounds like inside of a seashell, or the sensation or action of fogging up a window. Victorious breath, Ujjayi. Noticing how you feel after this practice. And the second practice, pranayama practice that I would like to invite you to partake in is Viloma. So that translates to interrupted breath. And we will first experience the interruption on the inhale, and then experience the interruption on the exhale as well. So we'll do one round of just the inhale, come back to one breath and of normal breath, and then come into the retention on the exhale as well. So I'll explain this completely. So those of you who are familiar with this, you know where we're going. Those of you new to the practice, we are essentially going to interrupt the breath into thirds. So the first third we're going to inhale and invite it into the belly, kind of how we permitted this softness through the lower belly. We'll take the first third in through the lower belly, and of course we're not breathing into the belly, we're breathing into the lungs, but the lungs allowing the diaphragm to expand and to drop, so really allowing this expansiveness here. The second part of the breath will inhale just through the center, so through the rib cage, the center of the chest and the torso. And then the third part of the breath will inhale all the way up to the bottom of the throat or the top of the collarbones. So we're really just experiencing, again, the full capacity of the lungs. So we'll take 1/3 in to the belly, pause. A second third in through the center of the chest, the rib cage, will pause. And then a final third all the way up to the top of the collarbones and pause. And then on the Viloma 1, on the exhalation, we'll stay here, retaining at the top, and then exhale the exact same way. So exhaling 1/3 just through the high lungs, the top of the chest, pause. Exhale the second third through the center of the chest and pause. And then exhale the final third all the way in through the belly, draw the belly in. Okay, so I'll guide you through the entire time. And of course, if this doesn't feel right for you today, please know this is all invitational and you are able to pick and choose whatever suits you. So if it feels a little bit too much, just close the eyes and continue with those deep belly breathing breaths. Okay, so finding your tall spine, making space for your Sushumna Nadi, spinal column. And when you're ready, take a full breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And we'll begin Viloma 2. So inhaling 1/3 of your breath in through the belly, pause. Inhaling second third of the breath in through the center of the chest, the rib cage, pause. Inhale that final third all the way to the top of the collarbones, pause. Exhale completely here. We'll do that one more time, just on the inhalation. So when you're ready, inhaling 1/3 through the belly, pause. Second third through the rib cage, pause. And your final third to the high collarbones, pause. Exhale when you're ready through the nose all the way to the bottom. This time adding the Viloma 1 on the exhalation as well. When you're ready, inhaling 1/3 through the lower belly, pause. A second third through the rib cage, pause. Final third all the way to the top of the collarbones, pause. When you're ready, exhaling top third of the chest, pause. Exhaling second third of the chest, pause. And then exhaling final third, lower belly draws in and pause. We'll do one more like this together. Inhaling 1/3, softness through the lower belly, pause. Second third through the rib cage, pause. Final third all the way to the top of the collarbones and pause. When you're ready to exhale, exhaling 1/3, top of the chest and pause. Second third through the rib cage and pause. And final third through the belly, drawing it in and pause. Closing down the eyes, coming back to a natural movement of breath, noticing how you feel. Noticing the integrity of your seat, offering adjustments or softness where you can, and just feeling what you feel. Ujjayi breath is welcome here. Again, gentle restriction of the glottis if you would like. Acknowledging your little victory each time you take a conscious breath here. The next pranayama I'd like to offer is a little bit more invigorating, or a little bit more of a stoking of the internal fire. And I will mention some contraindications for this practice. If you are pregnant, I say please do not partake in this practice unless otherwise advised by your physician. If you have high blood pressure or stomach ulcers, this might not be good for you either. But of course, we want to promote empowerment and agency over your own body and experience. So if you feel that you are capable of doing some retention and pumping of the belly and stomach today, you're welcome to, and see how you feel. Of course, and this goes for everyone, if it doesn't feel right, please don't feel you need to do it. You can close down the eyes, come back to the buzzing bee breath or the Viloma retention. And then the idea is we just want to be conscious with the breath for the full 30 minutes. So this one is called Agni Sara. So Agni meaning fire, and Sara meaning cascading or waterfall. So essentially what we're doing is pumping through the belly with the breath fully out. So what we'll do is we'll remove the breath completely, exhale completely, retain at the bottom of the exhalation so we're empty of the breath. The belly will be in center or in neutral, and then we'll draw it in with our abdominal muscles. Come back to center or neutral, and then we'll push it out. And then come back to center. Draw it in, center, push it out, center. Draw it in, center, push it out, center. And you might like to try this with the breath moving through you for a few moments, finding the neutral in the center, then hugging the belly in, navel all the way to the back body, in, using your abdominal muscles. Back to center, pushing it out. Back to center. In, back to center, push out, back to center, in, back to center, out, back to center. And when you feel ready or more comfortable to do this, we'll empty out the breath and begin pumping. So empty out the breath, draw in, center, out, in, center. Sorry, it's a difficult one to teach. Center, in, center, out, center, in, center, out. And we'll do this as long as you can. Until you need to take a breath in. So you'll soften through the belly, we'll take a breath in, we'll pause, and we'll come back to the practice. So we will do 2 rounds of this together, Agni Sara. So when you're ready, and take your time and know that this is a practice, and you might not get it straight away. You might get it in a couple of weeks, you might get it straight away, so just being kind and curious with yourself here. So when you're ready, finding your tall back body, making space for the Sushumna Nadi. Inhale. Exhale completely. Holding at the bottom of the breath, hugging in, center, pushing out, center. In, center, out, center. In, center, out, center. In, center, out, center. In, center, out, center. And keep moving like this until you feel the need to release and take your breath in. Finding your natural movement of breath, maybe even Ujjayi here, noticing how you feel. Maybe you've created a bit of heat in the body. We'll actually do this 2 more times, just so you get a chance to really feel it. So when you're ready, exhaling completely and begin. In, center, out, center. In, center, out, center. In, center, out, center. In, center, out. Continuing like this in your own time. Until you feel the need to soften, release, and take your normal movement of breath. Really focusing on stoking the internal fire, activating the digestive system, heating up a little bit, energetically getting everything moving inside. We'll take one more round your own way. So inhaling completely, exhaling, and at the bottom of the exhale, holding the breath out as you draw in, center, push out, center, draw in, center, out, center, in, center, out, center, in, center, out, center, in. Moving as you like. Releasing the practice, coming back to your own breath. Perhaps Ujjayi is here to greet you. Paying some attention to your posture, your seat, noticing how you feel after Agni Sara. Activating this fiery energy within. We will continue to stoke or create a bit more heat in the body as we transition to the next practice, Kapalabhati Kriya. And so this is a Kriya which is a clearing practice, a cleansing or clearing practice, which is going to disperse and spread prana, allowing it to be released from the body. So a lot of the time in these practices we are opening up, we're digging, we're expanding, we're moving and shifting energy around in the body. Oftentimes this energy is no longer needed and we use a kriya to kind of clear, to make space, to cleanse ourselves of it. So this kriya, again, if you are pregnant, I advise you to not participate. Sorry. Because again, we're going to be forcefully pumping the belly and allowing an exhalation out of the nose. And if you have high blood pressure or ulcers, again, please take extreme precaution when partaking in this practice. And this one is probably, I'd say from my experience, the most commonly taught in general yoga spaces. And I practice this every morning. I find it a really good way to clear stagnant energy from my sleep. It's really powerful to use in the middle of the day as well to kind of reset. So we are activating fire energy in ourselves, and then the second half of the practice will create a more cooling effect. So essentially what we're doing here, for those who aren't familiar with this practice, is we are pumping the belly and drawing a forced exhalation out the nose. So it sounds like this, and you're allowing a really natural inhalation to flower in. So you're not focusing on the in-breath, we're focusing just on the out-breath. So it looks and sounds a bit like this. So you're drawing again that navel center in on that forced push of the exhalation out the nose. Right, so I'm pumping the belly, allowing the exhalation to come out of the nose, and you'll experience this really natural inhalation after. So we're going to take 2 rounds of 60 of this Kapalabhati Kriya, which means skull shining breath, right? So we're sending the prana, the life force energy, all the way up towards the skull, releasing it out into the ether. So when you're ready, taking a moment to maybe move. If you need to stretch, we've been sitting for a while, and finding your nice tall posture here. And we'll take 2 rounds of 60. In between the rounds, we will retain the breath at the top of an inhalation. If you are familiar with the bandhas, you can engage Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha gently, but just making sure that you are open through Jalandhara Bandha. We want to send the energy up. If bandhas is a completely foreign term to you, that is absolutely okay. Today we will just focus on Mula Bandha, which is the pelvic floor lock. So the bandhas are, in a nutshell, these energetic locks in the body that we can control the movement of prana. Anyway, so I will advise when you need to engage Mula Bandha, or essentially your pelvic floor to begin. For those who are new, just engaging the pelvic floor, but I'll let you know. A lot of information, I'm sorry. So when you're ready, we'll take a round of 60 Kapalabhati breaths. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling to begin. Exhale completely. Inhaling all the way to the top and holding Antir Kumbhaka at the top of the breath, engaging Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, lifting up, allowing the energy to flow all the way up towards your skull. Holding here only as long as it's comfortable for you. When you are ready to release, releasing Mula Bandha, any other bandhas you've engaged, and exhale. Taking 1 or 2 breaths to recover. And we'll move straight into our next round of 60. And when you're ready, inhale. And exhale to begin. Exhale completely when you're ready. Inhaling all the way to the top of the lung capacity, holding here. Retaining the breath, engaging Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha if you practice it. Tall spine. Noticing how you feel as you invite softness where you can. Perhaps through the face you can invite in a little smile. And softness in the shoulders as you hold only as long as you would like. Releasing the bandhas, releasing the breath. And coming back to your natural rhythm, your natural cycle of breathing. Perhaps your Ujjayi breath. Noticing how you feel after this quite powerful kriya. Cleansing energy, prana, from the physical body, from the energetic body. We will close the practice together with Nadi Shodhana, which is an alternate nostril breath. We will be again inviting in a more of a cooling sensation to settle and neutralize both masculine and feminine energy within the body. So if you would like, taking Vishnu Mudra, hugging in forefinger and middle finger towards the palm, and allowing ring finger and pinky to act as one and the thumb to act as another. And what we'll be doing is alternating the breath through each nostril, inviting in this sense of balance. So when you're ready, we will inhale through the nose, exhale through both nostrils, And bringing the thumb to the right nostril, plugging it lightly and inhaling just through the right nostril. Gentle pause at the top of your inhale as you hold the breath here. Swap the fingers over so you're blocking the left nostril. Exhale out the right. Stay here as you inhale through the right. Gentle pause. Swapping to block the right as you exhale out the left. Staying here as you inhale through the left nostril. Gentle pause as you exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. And continuing with this movement of breath in your own time, in silence together. Offering softness where you can. Noticing how the breath feels. And the next time you exhale out the left nostril, you can soften the hand away from the face. Keeping the eyes closed, keeping awareness through the back of the body. So you come back to your Ujjayi breath or your natural rhythm of breathing. Notice how you feel here. And taking the time to become present with any subtle shifts of energy that you may be experiencing or not. My invitation is for you to sit here in a seated meditation for as long as you would like. But for the sake of staying within some type of restraint of time, if you'd like to close the practice with me, you can bring right and left palm to touch in front of your heart center, thumbs resting on your sternum, Anjali Mudra. In this gesture of gratitude, this gesture of humility, in a moment of pause to acknowledge 3 things you're grateful for and perhaps setting an intention for your day. And bowing your head, your intellectual thinking mind towards your heart, this deep space of infinite wisdom. And bowing all the way towards the ground if you would like. Thank you so much for joining me. Please know that I am here for you. If you have any questions, if you want to chat about the practice, please reach out. Otherwise, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you.